Something good finally happens, and within days, you found a way to ruin it. The promotion comes through, and suddenly you're picking fights with your partner over nothing. Things go quiet for the first time in months, and you invent a new emergency to worry about. The relationship is actually working, and you start rehearsing reasons it won't last. It never feels like sabotage while you're doing it. It feels like anxiety, like something real that needs your attention right now. But look at the timing. It only shows up right after things start going right. There's a name for what's happening in your head in that exact moment. And once you hear it, you'll stop mistaking it for anything else. Psychologist Gay Hendricks spent decades counseling couples and executives and kept running into the same pattern, regardless of who sat across from him. Someone would finally get the raise, the relationship, the recognition they'd wanted for years, and almost immediately, something would go wrong. Not bad luck, something they did. He called it the upper limit problem. Not a string of coincidences, a pattern with a trigger. And the trigger was always success. Picture the version at work. You finally get the promotion you've been chasing for 2 years. For about 4 days, it feels incredible. Then you show up late to the first meeting that actually matters. You snap at a coworker who's never once done anything to deserve it. Someone congratulates you in the hallway, and you hear yourself say, it's really not a big deal, already shrinking it before it can settle. None of that feels connected to the promotion. It feels like a rough week. Picture the version at home. Things have been calm for once. No fights, no waiting for the other person to disappoint you. And that calm itself starts to feel wrong. You find yourself picking at something small and irrelevant just to have something to be upset about. Or you go quiet, pull back half a step, because a part of you is already bracing for the moment this stops being easy. You'll tell yourself you're just being cautious, but you're not reacting to a problem. You're reacting to the absence of one. Sometimes it doesn't go through your choices at all. It goes through your body. The headache that shows up the week after your biggest win. The cold you catch right after finally finishing the project. An injury, an accident, a flare-up, timed almost perfectly to the moment things were going right. Hendricks noticed this too. When the mind won't manufacture the setback, sometimes the body does it instead. He compared the whole pattern to a thermostat, not for temperature, for how good you unconsciously believe your life is allowed to get. Cross that line, and your mind doesn't celebrate. It looks for the exit. It manufactures a problem urgent enough to bring you back down to the number you're used to living at. You're not self-destructive. You're regulated, just set to a number you never chose. That set point usually gets fixed early and quietly in a house that never announced the rule out loud. Maybe your ease made someone else's struggle harder to sit with, so you learned to make your good news smaller before anyone else had to. Maybe standing out too much got you called something like too big for your britches, so you learned exactly how much success was safe to let show. Nobody handed you a number. You just learned how much good news the room could hold and built your ceiling right under it. The exhausting part isn't any single setback. It's believing every one of them came out of nowhere. Bad luck, a rough week, bad timing, again and again, never once connecting it to what came right before. You keep rebuilding from the same ceiling and calling it chance every time you hit it. The thermostat isn't broken. It's just still set to a number from a long time ago, back when someone else's comfort mattered more than yours. You're allowed to move it. Human after all.